Hello, everyone. This is Linda Jo Hafner. I'm the author of Sees My Sailor Story. And I have to tell you how I met this man that's sitting next to me. This is the executive uh, director of SRQ Vets. And it's a remarkable story. I have affiliations with a lot of groups and been working with veterans for a while. But I was down at the mall and his van was sitting in the mall. And I looked at it, okay, I better find out about this group. Next day, which was a Wednesday, I went to the auto dealer, took my 2008 RAV4 in for a complete service checkup. I figured, okay, this is a car I'm going to have forever. Next day, I called the insurance company and I said, I'd like to cash in my two whole life insurances. And she said, well, okay. She says, what about this other one on your husband's death? My husband, Bud, died November 22nd, 1979 of Agent Orange poisoning. I said, well, what other one? I said, I cashed one in for $5,000. She says, we have another one here. We never paid you for it. I said, really? And by law, they have to pay me interest from November 22nd, 1979. So I bought myself a new RAV4. And I thought, well, what am I going to do with this one? It's in great shape. It's absolutely perfect. It's just been serviced. It's got new tires, new battery, and it's always been garage detailed. I took really good care of that car. So I thought, well, how about SRQ Vets? So I called them and I donated my RAV4. And it was a really good experience because they took care of everything. And one of the great advantages was, should anything go wrong with my 2008 RAV4, they have volunteers that'll come in and fix it for them, for the man. So it was good. I wasn't going to get that much for trading it in, so why not have it do some good? And I certainly hope that whoever got it is one happy veteran. So anyway, I'm going to let you talk now. I've talked about that. I'm talking to Rob Keys, who's the executive director of SRQ Vets. And this is a wonderful organization that has put together a whole package to help our veterans, which I'm all for it. So, Rob, I'm going to start off by asking you the first question, and I want to know what your military background is.
So, Linda, I joined the Navy, like your husband, but a little bit later than he did. I joined in 1985, and I was aviation machinist mate, meaning a jet mechanic, and I spent my 4 years. I got out in 1989. So, and my story is I didn't have a real plan with my life. I was driving down the road in Maryland and saw a recruiter. I pulled in to find out what it was all about, and I was only 17 at the time. Came home and said, "Mom, I just joined the Navy." She's like, "What?" So I joined the delayed entry program in February. Right after I turned 18, I went in, and it was a fun experience. Sometimes I regret. I wish I would have stuck around a little bit longer, but if I would, we probably wouldn't be speaking today. So who knows
Right.
what would be.
We all
So
have like a karma thing where we meet somewhere.
exactly. So there's definitely you're destined to be where you are.
Exactly. So, how did you get involved with SRQ Vets?
So that was a unique story. My next door neighbor was a Korean veteran, and he used the VA for all of his medical. And he told me, he goes, Rob, you need to go to the VA and get signed up for, using the medical services there. I'm like, well, I didn't retire. I didn't get injured. I never was involved in any war. I don't get those benefits. And he says, absolutely, you do. So after dripping on me for, a couple of years, I finally did it. And, started using the VA medical services here on Bee Ridge Road in Sarasota. And I made a phone call in there, and one of the gentlemen that were working there, he asked me, he said, "Have you ever heard of SRQ Vets?" I'm like, no, who are they? What are they all about? He goes, They're just a grassroots group of guys that go out and help out veterans with little stuff. I'm like, okay. So I reached out, I tried to get a hold of them, and they were in their infancy at that point, maybe just not even quite a year old. And then, so really hadn't heard anything from them, kind of put it on the back burner. And then we went to a park for my kid's birthday party. We were using the pavilion. Now we didn't rent the pavilion, and in rolls this a ragtag group of guys and gals, and like we rented this place. I'm like, well, can we just use this one table for my kid's birthday? They're out there playing around, and they're like, sure. They didn't want to kick us out, and I'm like, well, by the way, what are you guys all about? And they're like, well, we're SRQ Vets. I'm like, really? I've been trying to get a hold of you guys. So that's how I got started with them. I just kind of kept showing up, doing stuff. Just like, where can I help? Where can I help? What can I do? And then probably about a year in, I went to their second annual memorial hike. Now we just celebrated our 11th one, so if that tells you how long I've been involved. So I went to that. Shortly after that, they asked me to join the board. I was on the board probably about 7 years. Was probably about 6 years, and they said, "Well, Rob, why don't you quit your job and come to work for SRQ Vets full time as the first employee?" And I'm like, "That's pretty scary. You want me to quit my job and do this and go out there and start a whole new world?" So it took us a little time. My wife and I, and we're like, what the heck? Let's just do it. You love doing what you're doing. I was putting in 30 to 40 hours a week volunteering on top of my, 40 to 50 hour a week job. So I'm like, I can get a lot more done if I'm full time. So today, August 1st, will mark 2 years as me being the official executive director of SRQ Vets.
Most of your people, though, that work there are volunteers, right?
Yes, there's everybody's a volunteer except for we did bring on a part-time person that works 2 days a week. God sent that they're actually helping with our events and running the back end office stuff and helping. Granted, they've been about 2 months. So there's a lot of learning, but there's been a lot happening. It gives me the opportunity to get out and do more in the field, helping out veterans and telling people about what we do.
So what kind of region, what kind of area do you cover to help veterans?
So we use the SRQ airport code because that's the area we service, which is Sarasota and Manatee counties is where we primarily focus. Now we will sneak out to DeSoto County and help out there. There's a small veteran population compared to Sarasota and Manatee counties, and they don't have a whole lot of help. So we'll sneak out there every once in a while and help them, but our main focus is Sarasota and Manatee counties.
So when you go out and help this veteran, what essentially can you offer them?
So what we like to do is if a veteran has an issue, we want them to come to us with that issue, no matter what it is. Some things we can't help, but we have a network of people that we can refer them to. So we kind of that, come to us. We're that yellow pages, shall we say, that can help them go out and get help. So what we ask people to do is go to our website, srqvets.org. There's a red button on the front page that says request assistance. You click on it, you fill out the information form, upload your DD 214 and your driver's license. And then within a day or two, I'll reach out to you and see what we can do. But our main focus has been, like you already talked about, the transportation. So we have people that will come to us and go, my car's broke down, it's no good. I need another car. And I'll go, well, wait a minute, what's wrong with the car? So if they have a car and I can get it to one of the local shops that support us, we'll get it there. And if I have to put $1,000 in a $300 car so they can get around to their appointments and jobs and all that, I'll do that. So we try to start there. So I just had a veteran spouse reach out. They have a handicap van and the tires are bald on it. And I'm like, well, you can't be driving around like that. So we're getting them scheduled to go get tires put on their vehicle. But it is, again, on a case by case basis of what we will or won't do. Then also, you talked about the car donation program. So we have people that will donate vehicles to us. If they need work, we get them fixed up. Yours didn't need anything, which was awesome. But your neighbor gave us a vehicle
Oh,
and we had to,
I know.
right.
That's,
So, and
yeah,
that
I've
was
been
thanks to
working on it.
you.
And
Yeah,
this
that was,
video is going out again, Rob, to my neighborhood. So we'll get
okay, gotcha.
cars from the neighborhood.
So that car, that car was their daughter's car and it needed some work. So we took it to a local shop in Bradenton, Kenny's Automotive. They do a great job for us. And we probably put about $1,000 into that vehicle and to get out to a veteran. Now, so far, we're looking here, we're August 1st in 2026, and we just gave out our 8th vehicle for the year. So we're tracking one a month right now. And hopefully next week we'll be giving out another one. So, and that's going to be to somebody, it's a total handicap bronability van with a wheelchair ramp that comes out of it. This veteran is wheelchair bound and will be for the rest of his life. And his wife has been loading him into a Kia Rio.
Oh my
That's,
goodness.
so it's going to be a blessing for them. So we'll get all that done. And then we also do build mobility ramps for veterans. We actually did our first one where we actually didn't have room for the mobility ramp, but we built a set of extended stairs for a veteran's widow. So she can only use a walker to get out of her house. Now, in 2024, when we had the 3 hurricanes come through, she lost her house. And then she and her son moved into a mobile home. And those stairs are just very narrow, they're not very wide steps to get out. And the last time she had a doctor's appointment, she had to actually call Sarasota County EMS and have the
Um,
firefighters carry her out of the house. And then when the appointment was over, they had to carry her back in the house just because she couldn't get the walker to go down there. So me and another volunteer, we showed up and we built her 24-inch wide steps to where she was able to walk down those. She practiced it with us, and if you social media, it'll be out on our social media. You'll be able to see Janice with her new steps. So, those are the things that we do, and then other stuff that's not as glamorous but as important is a veteran that's getting ready to lose their car because they missed a car payment. Well, we'll pick up that car payment depending on the size of the payment, or maybe keep their lights on, keep their water running, or keep their phone on so they can look for work and talk to their doctors. So we'll pay those emergency bills. Unfortunately, we are not able to help out with rent and mortgages, but we have people that we can kind of refer to that may be able to. We have a network of people. If veterans are looking for jobs, we can give them to those people to help with jobs. Also, we have an attorney that's one of our board members that actually helps veterans with their disability. They help with survivorship benefits. They help out with aid and attendance, those kind of things. And they're an awesome law firm and they do some great work. So, and Bill, the founder of that law firm, was the brainchild that started SRQ Vets in his head 12 years ago. And then it became official 11 years ago.
yeah, it's an amazing organization. Now, do you get sponsors that help you with some of these costs, companies?
So we actually we have our official air conditioning company. I'll throw his name out there because he does
Absolutely. If he's supporting
he his name is Matt Fonville. So if you can imagine when he was a teenager in high school, he got called the Fonz all the time because of that name. So when he opened up his own air conditioning company, which they're the official air conditioning company of SRQ Vets, he named it Fonz Heating and Cooling, or pardon me, Fonz Heating and Air, sorry. And they're based out of Palmetto. They go all the way down to Clark Road, and then north of Palmetto. Great Marine Corps veteran, does lots of stuff for us. He supports us on a monthly basis. Plus, also he sponsors all our events. We have a clay shoot coming up on the 26th of September, and he's already took the top sponsorship. So, which is pretty awesome that he's given us monthly support, plus he supports us at those events. And then we have another event coming up November 7th, right before Veterans Day. It's gonna be our first one. It's called hibachi for heroes. We're going to have 8 to 9 hibachi stations set up outdoors. An outdoor venue. We plan to have dinner right around sunset. And he's actually sponsoring the bar on that one also. So
Oh,
he's
that's
always out
great.
there. Matt, great guy, him and his wife, Morgan, they do a lot for us. And then, of course, Veterans Affairs Law. He's the one that we had talked about. Bill and his team, they always sponsor all of our events. They're always part of it. So we have some good ones. And then Mike, you've met Mike before, Mike
I did,
Camper
yeah, I
with
did, yeah.
water treatment and filtration. He is always sponsoring our stuff. And at the clay shoot, he'll bring in cases of water with his logo and SRQ Vets logo because he's the water guy. So he's going to bring water. And he does like at our last hike where we had over 500 people, he supplied all the water and a refreshment station at our halfway point where, provided bananas and oranges and, just that stuff to help you get to, because it was a 3.5 mile walk. So at halfway,
You
we
have to
had
have
a
some water though for those people,
yeah, and
especially in Florida.
we're always looking for more people that want to sponsor us. And again, go to our webpage, srqvets.org, and you can see different opportunities. And we're always looking for, people that like, I can't help, I don't have a business, but I'd like to drop you a little bit of money. We have a foundation, pardon me, the Flanzer Foundation that has a matching program on our website. If you go to our donate page, if you drop us $10, they make it 20, so people think like, well, I don't have all this great money to give. Well, can you imagine if we had 1,000 people giving us $10 a month?
That's one trip to the
Yeah.
coffee bar.
What's that?
Well, $10 is about one trip to the coffee bar.
Exactly. And then the great thing is if they drop it on our website where the big red heart is, it makes it 20. So that would be $20,000 a month that we can do more stuff and
Oh,
help more veterans.
absolutely.
So
So you're looking for sponsors and you're looking for volunteers. Anything
yeah.
else you need?
So realistically, we're always needing more vehicles. I've got a list of 10 or 15 veterans waiting for vehicles. And then if we did have people volunteer, somebody that maybe knows something about vehicles that can maybe look over a vehicle or maybe take the tires off and run them to the tire shop for us if we need them. Because we don't have tags on the vehicles, so sometimes it's easier to take the tires to the tire shop than we have to pay a tow truck to tow them anywhere to get that work done. Which of course, if we have to, we will. Plus, I've got my two-wheel dolly that I showed up to grab your car with,
Yes, I
but it's
know.
not
I didn't
always
have a license on mine either when it went.
right. Well, when I tow it, I didn't need a tag on it. Yeah. So, and then we're looking at expanding a little bit. I want to start a program where we actually have volunteers that'll go hang out with veterans in an assisted living facility and just hang out with them, play cards, play checkers, talk war stories, whatever it may be. So I've got that working right now in the background. I have a lady that has a background in senior care, so she's gonna start heading that up. So just keep an eye out for that coming down their pike. We do need some people, maybe somebody that's good with just doing data entry. All our donations that we do get in, we need somebody to log into our CRM and enter all those donations in there and match them up to the right person and or um, add that person to the CRM. And
CRM.
also,
Now you have to explain this to us.
it's a customer relationship management tool.
Okay.
So it's a database.
Database.
So,
Okay.
and that platform is called Bloomerang. We've subscribed to it, and that's where all our fundraisers run through the fundraising part, and then all the donation side run through the customer relationship management tool. And it's an awesome tool. It helps us do our reporting, help us know who gives what. Our accountant asks, like, well, a certain threshold, he has to report those people to the IRS that they gave a certain amount of money. So once you hit that $5,000 or more mark, the IRS wants to know who they are. And so I need somebody to enter all that information. It's stuff I've been doing But it bogs me down where I'm in the office every day. So to where I can't go and do the outreach that we need to do.
How about with the building the handicap ramps and handicap equipment? Is there something that maybe someone who's a senior who had previously worked in construction that could help you out? Maybe taking measurements or taking requirements?
So that would be awesome. Also, we have a ramp that we're going to be doing down in Nokomis. I've got to get that on the schedule. It really would be nice if somebody could go out there, measure it up. Somebody that's got the construction background that can go, this is what we need to do. These are the supplies we're going to do. They can give me the supply list. Then I go into Home Depot, order them all, and then we go pick them up at the Home Depot. Most of the time, sometimes we'll use Lowe's, but Home Depot is right next to where the office is, so it makes it a little easy. So, but yeah, so that would be perfect if we had somebody. I have another set of stairs that we have to build for another veteran's widow, and that's like around the Clark Road area. So it would be nice if we had people that could do that. We could do more.
Yeah,
So,
it'd
and
be
then
nice to have someone. We, in my neighborhood, we're 55 plus. So there are some extremely talented men that
mhm,
have worked in construction or electricians or whatever, and they can't be the guys doing the hammering anymore, but they could
right,
be, they got the brains to set you up.
right, right,
That's
right.
what I'd
Yeah.
like to see some people from
Yeah.
my community do for you.
Right. Well, and also if somebody's pretty good with a camera or, if we can have them show up at the ramp builds when we're building the ramps and maybe take some good pictures and maybe some video, somebody that maybe can splice all that together and create quality video. I have people that have done stuff and I really appreciate everything that everybody does, but some of it is a little off the wall, if that makes
Yeah,
sense. It,
yeah.
it just
Yeah, you really should have.
the music is crazy, the music is loud. You just need something subtle in the background with some nice stuff. So if somebody knows how to do that stuff and can show up to these events,
So you
we have a
need like a
gentleman that
graphic designer type skill,
yeah, more,
photography
video,
and
yeah, photography, video, that kind of stuff. We do have a gentleman that it's his business that he does that, and he does a lot for us. It's called 19 Shots Photography, but it's his business. So when he can't always come out because he's working, but he does some amazing stuff for us. He came out, there's a Home Depot came and did a project out here for the disabled American veterans. That's where my office is. They donate me the space. So, and he came out and did some amazing just still photos and then put it all together in a video. So he does a great job, but it's just a matter of he can't always be there for us. So,
exactly. So you need volunteers. And
mhm.
how about just straight money? I
I'm
could
sorry.
straight money. You always need money.
Oh, always
Money,
need money. Always need money.
always need money. So where would my people go to if they want to make a donation?
So they can go to srqvets.org and then /donate. That will take them right to the donation page. And we have just about every way you can imagine to give us money. If you're a business, you have to use the business link, which goes to PayPal. If it's a personal donation between $5 and $500, the Flanzer Foundation will match that, and that's the big red heart on the
Oh,
screen.
that's wonderful.
Um, and then if you know anybody that has donor advised funds where they have money set aside for donations, they can either donate that through the website where there's a donor advised tab, or they can just have their financial advisor reach out to us and have the check sent directly to our PO box, or we're set up with EFT with a lot of the financial advising firms, the big ones like Morgan Stanley and Fidelity and those, where they actually direct deposit the money right to us. And then, we can take Bitcoin, we can take, stocks. We did have one person donate us $1,000 worth of stock. So now,
That
if
always helps.
it went through a clearinghouse and we got the check, we didn't get, the actual stock. So we take it. If you need me to come show up at your house and knock on the door and you want to hand me a check or a roll of pennies. We'll do what we got to
Whatever.
do.
I will always be sure to give you a cup of coffee, Rob, when you come.
Exactly.
So
I
anyway,
thrive on coffee, so
oh, I do too. That's the Navy thing, right? I know
yeah,
Bud used to
I
get
think
up
it's a
at
military thing. I
yeah, Bud used to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I said, "What's wrong, honey?" He says, "I can't sleep." And there he was drinking coffee. So
Well, I started in my basic in my A school is what they called it, where I was learning jet mechanics. So being 18 years old, out on my own, the Navy had a club on base. I would go out at night and when I probably shouldn't and have to drink, a gallon of coffee in the morning to make it through class and
oh,
tests and all that stuff. So that's where I started it. I started with, like 25 International Delight creamers in it and coffee. And now I'm to the point where it's almost black coffee, but not quite. So,
yeah, it's really funny because I put milk in my coffee because when Bud made coffee, it was like the spoon could stand straight up and it was so strong.
right. So I was actually, I have a gentleman that was a submariner, and he sent me a video about coffee and the submarine force. Is they had at one point ran out of coffee
Oh my goodness.
and they actually saw a huge decline in the performance of these guys. So supposedly they have more coffee on the ship than they have anything else on the submarines. Just due to they understand that performance.
Our oldest son Gregory was on served 3.5 years on submarines out of
Okay.
Georgia. My dad was also in the Navy, so we are a Navy family.
Yeah. Well, I'm on shoot, like ancestry.com. I was trying to track back my ancestries. Now my step grandfather, which he's the only one I knew as my grandfather, he was in World War II in the Navy. So maybe that's how I ended up in the Navy. I don't know. And then I tracked it back and I found out my grandfather on my dad's side, which I never met, was in the Navy.
Yeah.
Never knew that. And then I think there was somebody back maybe two generations before him that was in the military. Never knew it, but that was that. And I don't know a whole lot on my mom's side of the family, besides my step grandfather. So
So people always ask me why I do so much work with veterans. My husband was a Vietnam War veteran on a ship, and when he died, I couldn't even get honor guards. There wasn't one military uniform at his funeral. My dad's VFW guys did the honor guard thing for me at the cemetery. So I'm trying to, I guess I'm trying to honor my husband when I do this.
yeah.
So anyway, anything else you'd like to add before we conclude?
No, I mean, I really appreciate everything you've done for us and appreciate you having doing this and getting the word about what we do. Again, if you Facebook, follow us on Facebook. It's easy to find. If you just go into Facebook and type in srqvets.org and put it in there, there is two Facebook pages up there. You want the one with the color guard. The other one was something I did in my ultimate wisdom. I created a person SRQ Vets. So that's not the official page, but it's got a great following too. If you Instagram, we're actually Vets SRQ on that one. And then we did just start on, TikTok, if anybody's TikToking. So we've got a YouTube channel. If you're on LinkedIn, we're there. So just follow what we do. Like the stuff, share it with people you know. Just because we're in Sarasota doesn't mean that people outside of this area can't help us. The van that we picked up that we're going to be donating came from somebody in Clearwater. I don't know how they found us. It must have been through social media. So I drove up to Clearwater. Actually, I had my son take me up there early, drop me off at Clearwater. I picked up that van and brought it back. So it doesn't matter if it's close enough, I'll go out. And then, keep an eye. We have a really cool raffle that we do every year. We're selling our last tickets today. It's a gun raffle, but we do that annually, so keep track of that. If you look on our website and click on our events and calendar, you'll see all the things that we have going on. We do have, if somebody wants to come out live, we have a live monthly meeting. It's very casual. We just kind of go over the things we've been doing. That's the first Monday of every month at the DAV on Bee Ridge Road, which is 7177 Bee Ridge. And we just kind of chat about what's going on. It's at 7 o'clock at night, or 1900 for us military people. And we talk for about 10, 15 minutes. And then we have pizza and wings at SRQ Vets Supplies, and we hang out and chat as long as we want to chat. So,
And this
so
is
I think,
important too. Networking, I think, is really important. I've often thought that if we got all our veterans together and worked
mhm,
together,
right,
we'd be a very powerful group.
we would.
But we
And
have to
my
just,
whole thing is that there's a lot of people out there. I don't want to go political, but there's a lot of craziness going on in the world.
oh, there is.
All I do is ask people, just, know where we live. If you think it's better somewhere else, look at their history. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Where they are, and just know that I believe that we live in the best country in the world. Do we have our
Absolutely.
faults? We absolutely do. But support the country, support the people that have kept us free, and that's our veterans. And let's have at least another 250 years. I know you and I probably won't be around to celebrate it here on Earth,
No,
but
no. No,
but
it's a pretty, I think our country was set up pretty well. I mean, we went through the Vietnam War and that divided our country. Our veterans from the Vietnam War came back and were spit on. All
right,
the anger was misdirected towards them. They weren't responsible. They were doing
no,
their job. So anyway, well, I hope that you will invite me to your events. I'll come down and do a live video for you.
absolutely.
And invite you, and I invite you to post anything that you want on my Facebook page.
Okay,
And I'll put the link down before. And again, I don't do politics on that page at all. And
right.
my veterans are very respectful of that.
Right.
I have
Well,
over 3,500 followers. So, put your events out there. Uh,
okay.
Maybe they're not local, but if they got a couple, $10 or $20, they could donate to you.
Yep, absolutely. That would be awesome. So, or spread the word, just tell people what
That's
we're
what we
doing.
do.
If you see a post on social, share it out with the world so everybody knows. Who
Yeah,
knows? We might find somebody that hits the lottery and wants to drop us a big chunk of change.
I hope so.
That big Mega Millions or whatever it was that went off, the ticket got bought right in Bradenton. I don't know if you knew that.
No, no.
Yep, it was $850 million got bought. The ticket was bought at a Wawa on State Road 70 out in Lakewood Ranch.
Oh my
So
goodness, I can't
yeah,
even imagine that.
if anybody knows them,
Anyway,
so
well, thank you so much for
you're
joining me
welcome.
today. Folks, this is Linda Jo Hafner of the Tainted Seas, My Sailor Story Network. And I'd like to thank the Executive Director, Rob Keyes, for joining us today. And let's get out there and support our veterans. It's about time when we're going to be looking and drooling over those new cars. Instead of having the profit go to a dealership and they're giving you the minimum amount, give it to a veteran. Why not? All right, I will see you again, folks, and I'll thank you for joining me, Rob, and see you again. This is Linda Jo Hafner
Thanks
saying
again for having me.
thank you so much.